Finally, after many years of development and many coming soon announcements, AEW Fight Forever is finally here and playable. And after a few days off of the game's release, the question is, does it live up to the hype after all these years of waiting? Short answer, yes and no. For a more in-depth answer, let's just get into the ring and let's talk about it as I, RexBebop, am here and I welcome you to the After Playing Reviews, where I give you my positives and my negatives on a game and tell you whether or not it's a buy now, wait till discount, or ignore altogether. So let's have a rundown of what I enjoyed with them positives. Let's get it. Now, the first positive I would have to give Fight Forever is really the arcade fun factor. Because right off the bat, I absolutely love the arcade style that Fight Forever brings to the table, as opposed to, with WWE 2K's simulation of gameplay. And yes, the simulation is eased up over the years. I know, I don't need anyone telling me this, okay? I know. I played these games long enough to know that. Now, I didn't grow up on No Mercy like most of who this was catered to, as my wrestling gaming journey didn't start with No Mercy. It started with SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. And I played the games ever since. Even the lesser known series, Day of Reckoning, which, again, really great 2 sets of games, really isn't talked about enough. It also brings back memories of just good fun and fast-paced gameplay from way back in the day, before the transition to the more slower-paced style that we have with the WWE games now. However, even with the fast-paced style of the moves and everything, it feels more impactful than they do in 2K23, at least to me. At the end of the day, it all comes down to personal taste, and for me, this really scratches that itch that I've really had to go back to the old games for every so often. Like, I still have my consoles, I still have these old games, I still go back to them like every so often because I need that arcade style itch, The second positive I would have to give Fight Forever is the crazy level of violence you could achieve with this game. The level of craziness that can be achieved with Fight Forever is really crazy. From over 40 weapons available, including thumbtacks, barbed wire bats, frying pans, football helmets, and tires, to even using the barricades, to even being able to break the screen at the top of the stage, it's all a crazy ass good time. And that's not even mentioning the exploding barbed wire death match, which only happened once in the company's history, is even in the game. In short, this is just another good time, especially when you bump up the difficulty. This is almost like what I had always imagined a 3D Fire Pro Wrestling world to look like, really. Honestly, that's where the positives kind of end for me. Now we gotta talk about them negatives, though. Seriously, it's a 3D Fire Pro Wrestling world. And you really think about this, it's just like, wow. This is kind of what I have always imagined that to look like. Anyway, negatives coming up. Alright, the negatives. Now, the first negative I would have to list would have to be the roster. Because it has to be said, the roster is probably one of the most saddest things when you realize just who didn't make the cut for the game. People like Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, Swerve, Evil Uno, who's literally done the marketing for this game leading up to its release, Alex Reynolds, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Private Party, even Page, because Scorpio Sky is in the game, but he isn't. The Acclaimed, especially Max Caster, who has songs in the game's jukebox, Santana and Ortiz, and the Butcher and the Blade, especially when the Bunny is going to be DLC alongside Keith Lee later on this year. The roster, while being varied, is very outdated, just like the presentation with the game, considering AEW changed their stage and presentation when the year first started. Now Ukes can easily patch the new sets of Dynamite, Rampage, now Collision in as a free update, but with how things are these days, it probably might not be until the Season 2 pass, but who knows? I can only hope. Now, the second negative I'd have to give it to is the Creation Suite, or really lack thereof. Another issue with this game is that I know, and this has pissed people off, is the lack of stuff when it comes to creating things. You have Create a Wrestler for both male and female, and Create Arena, and Create a Tag Team. But Arena and wrestler, these are probably the most bare bones features I've ever seen in a wrestling game in years. Even when the WWE games first did it, you can still use most of the wrestler's gear for your custom wrestler. But for here, you can barely use any of the wrestler stuff except Jericho and Kenny's pants. That's it. That's all you have. Not to mention the lack of hair, beards, and everything else to work with when it comes to male and female. It's baffling how this was handled really overall. Even the arena creation is sad because all you had to work with is the default arenas, Dark, Dynamite, Rampage, Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear, and Revolution to work with when creating your custom arena, and that's it. And now knowing full well Ukes have time to add and pad out both of these sites, it's still insane how they let this release in the bare bones state that it's in. I don't understand it. I still don't understand it, and it still pisses me off a bit. Y'all let this hit street day like this. Why? You add stuff in. Add stuff in. Let me use people's attires, man. I don't understand this. I genuinely don't. And the third negative, I'm really gonna piss somebody off with this. Road to Elite. Now I know this was made in the same vein as No Mercy Season mode. However, Road to Elite mode lacks in delivery. What was promised was a deep career mode that highlights the fun and personality of an all-elite wrestler's life on the road, which really is just get from match to match while having little story beats here and there during the story block in which you're placed in. Repeat process until you get back to Double or Nothing, which is the pay-per-view to start off with, whether you pick a male or a female wrestler rounding out a calendar year. You start off being placed in the Casino Battle Royale for a shot at the world title when you choose a male, and as a female, you are placed in the Fatal 4-Way match for a shot at the women's title. Afterwards, then you are placed in story block when a new month starts. After the pay-per-view, you're working whether you win or lose. The problem with this is the story block you're placed in really doesn't leave that lasting impact. For example, my created character, RexBebop, being placed in a Can They Coexist storyline with Heyman and Adam Page that ended with us getting the tag titles off of best friends, who didn't even come in the match with the titles, by the way, and ending with my character super kicking Page after finding out he ribbed me because my gear was stolen from me. He super kicks him, lays him out on the mat, only for my newly won championship tag title and the story with Paige to both be completely absent in the next story block I was placed in, and even onwards when I randomly run the page again during a sightseeing event. I don't even have the tag championship anymore. It's just glossed over, we move on to another story, but you go to the menu, I still have the championship for some reason. Am I still in a team with Paige? I don't know. Not ever mentioned again. Now, I have bagged on my career for a lot of things, but at least I can say in that mode, the game throws you in matches and reminds you like, hey, you're the champion. Defend that damn strap of yours from management when you're not locked into a storyline. Road to Elite overall does not leave that lasting impression so far. Even now, on my second go-through is Kenny Omega. Also, if you want to build up your created wrestler, you have to put them through Road to Elite to level your stats up, a complaint I already had when I first heard about it. This wouldn't be as bad if we didn't have one save slot to work with. If you want to level up someone new or already in the process of going through the mode already, you have to restart the whole entire mode again. Unfortunately. That's all the negatives I have. Let's just get to the final thoughts. Alright, final thoughts. 2 positives, 3 negatives. You probably think I hate this game, given how passionate I was in the negatives department, but quite the contrary, as I am still very much enjoying my time with AEW Fight Forever. However, I cannot in good conscience recommend Fight Forever in its current state. This is a wait till discount, which I kind of already prepped myself for in saying in the days leading up to its release on Twitter. Go follow me at RexBebop HD. As the gameplay started to get leaked. Just because I had a good time with what I was given here does not mean you will, as everyone has different tastes, and for some of the negatives that I mentioned, damaged the product for plenty of reviewers who have been shitting on this game since last Wednesday. However, from just waiting itself to then receiving an outdated game with an outdated roster in its overall presentation, from only having 9 match types at launch, a bare bones creation suite, I could not see this working out for a lot of people and even justifying dropping $60 on this. This feels like this should have been released last year, if I'm being completely honest with you. But despite all that, I can feel the passion that was put into this game, and honestly, it never felt like this was just thrown out as a cheap product, at least to me. It's just too bad this came out way too late when AEW has got so much stuff going on with ROH, Collision, that all this should have been in the final product of the game. This is a strong wait till discount. And it's all I can recommend this game, because as I just feel like this did not fail for me personally with the negatives that I've listed here. Because I'm still having so much fun with the violence and the craziness that I'm able to achieve with this game and the arcade style and all this. I'm still having fun with this. Even with all what I said here, I will still say wait till the DLC's release, wait till stuff to be patched in or patched up, like the broken, busted kickout system, and honestly, if you weren't using someone with a kickout buff in the skill set, you're taking an L from one finisher or just one move, because I forgot to mention this, but my god, the kickout system is so ass in this game, man. Like, I even think the old games were a lot better in like achieving like a kickout more than this, but you need specifically a kickout buff so you just won't take an L. Like, they really need to patch something like this, or on the creation, especially on the creation front. Like, good god, guys, the foundation for Fight Forever is there, but Yuke's needs, and I'm talking needs, to build up off of it so it can secure its future. So this has a future, so this isn't a one and done, oh, it's dead after a year type of game. It needs to be patched up. It needs to have features put in. It needs stuff added to. It can't just be DLC, guys. It can't. I've enjoyed it, but I cannot, in good conscience, recommend this at full price. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. Like I said, our tastes are different. You may hate everything that I've listed off here and be like, I'm not wasting my money. Don't. I'm not telling you to go out here and waste your money. I'm saying wait till discount. Wait till this is $40. Wait till this is on sale. Wait till stuff is like patched in. Wait till the DLC is released, and then make your decision. But yeah, that's all I got for you on Fight Forever. I recommend at a cheaper price, not at $60, man. It's too much wrong, but just too much fun I've had with it. That's why I've been completely split on this. It didn't break my heart like so many others who had high expectations for it. I knew this wasn't going to be a 2K killer. I knew this wasn't going to be a WB 2K killer. I already knew that going in. But if it achieved on the arcade front and the levels of violence that I was ready to, that I could come out with, then it's a thumbs up for me. Not 2, but 1. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. Wait till discount, people. I'm RexBebop. I'm getting out of here. Peace. Sees you when I sees you. Y'all be safe out there. Yeah. Ain't all elite with this. Get it at discount. Alright. I'm out.